Luckin Coffee Stock has been halted for over a month, and the stock last traded on April 7th, which is over a month ago, after collapsing over 90% from its highs. Many investors were impacted by this because although this was a Chinese-based company, it was publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange. Today we got some breaking news that the company has fired their CEO and COO after they found them guilty of sales fraud as well. So what does this mean for Luckin stock? What does it mean for the shareholders of the stock? And is now a good opportunity to consider buying the stock when it is eventually trading once again. So let's discuss this in today's video. I know my last Luckin stock video did quite well, so you guys are interested in this company. Let me know in the comment section down below, guys, if you are holding this stock through this halt here. I know it must be painful here because it's been about a month now that it's been halted. So if you are in this position, you want to stick around and listen to this video because I'm going to share my thoughts on this company. I'm going to share my thoughts on whether I think this company is worth buying after it does get past this and is trading once again. And I'm going to share you some concerns that you may want to pay attention to if you are a shareholder or considering being a shareholder in this company. So drop a like, share this with a friend, and let's get into it. So back in early February, the coffee chain did confirm that after an internal investigation, they had found that its COO had fabricated 2019 sales by around 2.2 billion won, which is $310 million. This is why the stock was initially halted and remains halted until today because investors demand more information on this subject. Well, today that was addressed, and after some more internal investigation, the company has concluded that their CEO was also in on this. If you watched my previous video, guys, on Luckin Coffee that I created, I did mention that their COO was most likely not the only one in on this, and most of upper management was probably aware of this as well. Now we finally have confirmation on this, and this hunch was correct, and their CEO was involved. Jenny was a former CEO of Luckin Coffee, and she has also left the company now, so that means the CEO and COO are both gone as of today. Not only did they have to leave their positions though, but they also were forced to leave the board, and this was a good move because it removed any ties that they had with the company moving forward. Now, in addition to this, in a statement, they also said that they had 6 other employees who were involved or had knowledge of the fabricated transaction, and those employees were placed on either suspension or leave. Now, while this is a good step forward, it's a good move. The company is making moves here to find out who was involved. It's really hard to believe that only 2 members of the upper management were involved with this. You're saying 6 other employees were involved, but they haven't really named who these employees are or what their titles are within the company. But I assume they're probably lower ranking in the company. Otherwise, it probably would have made headlines. So my concern still stands here at this point, because we still have upper management that is aware of this that's still in the company. I find it really hard to believe that their CFO, Renaud Hendrik-Schnackel, who has been with the company since Jan 2019, had absolutely no knowledge of this and had nothing to do with this at all. Guys, it doesn't really make sense to me because he is literally the person who is in charge of the finances of the company. He is the chief financial officer of the company. So you would think he may have suspected some funky numbers here, some funky business going on, especially when it was reported at over $300 million over what the company actually achieved. Now, I don't want to accuse anyone, I'm not going to make any conclusions here, but it does seem a bit fishy, doesn't sit well with me, and it is a big reason as to why I will not be buying Luckin stock. Now, you may be on the other side here. You may be thinking, okay, the CEO's out. They got a new CEO here. You know, they've done their investigation. They found people who were involved. They should be able to get past this. Everything should be fine. But wait, there's more. My other concern here is around the new CEO that was appointed. The board appointed Mr. Jinyi Guo as the new acting CEO for Luckin right now. But here's the issue, guys. He was a director to the board and a senior vice president of the company before all of this happened. So guess what? He was at the company when this fraud occurred, and he was pretty high up there in the company as well. So again, I beg the question here, did he have any involvement? I don't know the answer to that, guys, but being someone internal, this is not something that I personally feel good about or approve of for this company. So what can or should Luckin Coffee do here? One thing they are doing right is working and cooperating with responding to inquiries from regulatory agencies both in the US and China. This will slowly help them build their credibility back up, in my opinion, and it's a critical step here to show investors, both current and future potential investors, that the company is trying to right this wrong. But in my opinion, I think the solution here has to go much deeper than this, and we need to flush out their upper management team. The first thing that they need to do is actually get a new CEO who is from outside this company, no relations, no ties at all to Luckin Coffee, and have him join the company and be the new face of the company. In my opinion, that's one of the quickest and best ways to really get past this issue. Remember, the CEO is the face of the company. It's what people associate the company with most times. Think of Elon Musk, Tim Cook, Mark Zuckerberg. Those guys are the faces of the company. And if someone else was running the company, the impression around those companies would be very different. Just like that, Luckin Coffee needs to get someone from outside of their organization to come in and start running this business. Maybe someone from Starbucks, if they can poach someone there. Maybe someone from McDonald's. I know they have some other former McDonald's employees work for the company. But guys, the bottom line is, in my opinion, someone new needs to come in. Cannot be someone internally, because investors are going to question, is this internal person someone trustable? Were they involved in it? And all those questions are not going to get answered. And there's going to be constant doubt from the investor's perspective. Now, I know that there's going to be a lot of logistics behind this. There's a lot more work that goes behind this than just handpicking someone out and saying you're the new CEO of the company. I understand that. But I do think that this is something that this company definitely needs to consider seriously. Many investors are still stuck with the stock now for over a month that it's been halted. So what can they really do at this point? Unfortunately, with the actual investment, there's absolutely nothing you can do. That stock is just kind of stuck there in limbo until things start trading once again. But in the meantime, what you can do is actually look at the business, try to figure out if you do trust their upper management, because the management team, guys, is a very core component of a business. If they don't run it well, if they're not trustworthy, guess what? The business is going to struggle. And as a result, your investment will eventually struggle. So use this time here to really evaluate if you want to continue holding this stock. If the answer is no, then once it does resume trading, you may want to consider cutting that position. If the answer is yes, you still trust the board and you trust the new CEO, then maybe you want to actually pick up shares here once it does start trading, because my guess is that it'll open probably around the same price or maybe even lower. So for a long-term investment, there could be some huge potential here, especially if you see this company get back to where it was prior. Really, what I can say here is that time is your best friend. Typically, long-term investments end up being much better investments than short-term investments. So if you have a long-term horizon and you've done your research on the company, it may make a ton of sense here to buy a lot of Luckin stock when it does resume trading, if you have high conviction in this business. Now, full disclosure, I do not plan to buy Luckin stock here, and this is not financial advice, guys. And the reason is because I don't trust the CEO and I don't trust the way that the company is going right now, even though they are trying to clean up their image. I think they have a lot more work to do, and for me to actually invest my money in here, there's a lot of things that need to change within the company. I prefer investing, like I said before, in Starbucks. I think that's a much better run company, a more trustworthy company at least, when it comes to the coffee industry. So my hard-earned money is actually going towards Starbucks as opposed to Luckin Coffee. That's not to say that money can't be made in Luckin Coffee, but it just doesn't make sense to me with the risk to reward here with this stock. Guys, as always, I love to hear your reasoning as to why you're holding a stock or selling a stock. So let me know in the comment section down below if you're a Luckin stock shareholder and how you've really felt during this time here when the stock has been halted. Are you planning to sell it once it starts trading again, or are you planning to buy more shares? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to invest positively, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.